I chose my boyfriend's comfort over my children's grief, prevented them from saying goodbye to their grandfather in hospice, withheld their letters until he died, and now I've lost custody, my career, my family, and my kids won't speak to me. He left me 6 months later. I held their letters in my hand and didn't mail them. 3 handwritten letters from my children to their grandfather, begging him to get better, telling him they loved him, decorated with crayon drawings and stickers. Carter was dying of pancreatic cancer in hospice care. He had maybe 2 weeks left. My ex-husband had called, desperate, asking if the kids could visit one last time. My daughter Lily was 9. My son Noah was 7. They'd been asking every single day when they could see Grandpa Carter. I told them no. I told Derek, my boyfriend of 8 months, that they were being disruptive and needed to learn respect. I told myself I was doing the right thing. I kept those letters in my desk drawer as punishment. To teach my ex a lesson about trying to control my parenting time. To show Derek I was serious about our relationship and our household rules. To prove to myself I was finally putting my needs first after years of being a doormat. Carter died 3 days later. The kids never got to say goodbye. He never got their letters. That was 18 months ago. I'm writing this from a studio apartment I can barely afford, estranged from both my children, unemployed, and completely alone. This isn't a story about how I'm fixing things. This is a story about how I destroyed my children's lives and mine in the process. Derek moved into my house 6 months after we started dating. Too fast. I knew it was too fast. But he was attentive. Masculine. Confident. Everything my ex-husband wasn't. He had opinions about everything, which I mistook for strength. He made decisions quickly, which I mistook for leadership. He told me my kids were spoiled and undisciplined, which I mistook for helpful parenting insight. My ex, James, and I had been divorced for 3 years. The split was amicable. We co-parented well. The kids went back and forth every week. James was a good dad. Reliable. Present. Maybe too soft, I'd started thinking after Derek came into my life. Maybe that's why the kids walked all over him, as Derek liked to say. Derek didn't like the kids. He never said it directly. But I felt it in the way he'd sigh when they got loud. In the way he'd close his office door when they were playing. In the way he'd pull me aside and say things like they need structure and you're letting them run wild, and no wonder James couldn't handle them. James could handle them fine. They were normal kids. Energetic. Silly. Sometimes loud. But normal. But Derek made me doubt everything. Made me doubt my parenting. Made me doubt James. Made me doubt the kids themselves. It started small. They need to be quieter when I'm working from home. Reasonable, I thought. I told the kids to play quietly. They tried. They were 7 and 9. Quiet wasn't their default setting. Then it escalated. They need consequences for disturbing me. So I started grounding them. For being too loud. For running in the house. For laughing during Derek's conference calls. For existing in ways that annoyed my boyfriend. Noah got grounded for a week for accidentally knocking over Derek's coffee while reaching for cereal. Lily got grounded for 2 weeks for arguing with Derek when he told her she couldn't watch TV before homework, even though that had always been allowed before. The groundings meant no screens, no friends, no activities. Just homework and chores and sitting quietly. They started walking on eggshells in their own home. Started asking me in whispers if they could do things. Started flinching when Derek raised his voice. I told myself I was teaching them respect. Teaching them discipline. Teaching them the world doesn't revolve around them. I was teaching them their mother didn't have their backs. James noticed. Of course he noticed. He picked them up and they'd be withdrawn. Anxious. Lily started having nightmares. Noah started wetting the bed again, something he hadn't done in years. James called me, concerned, asking what was going on. I told him it was normal adjustment. That the kids were fine. That he was overreacting and trying to undermine my parenting. Derek was in my ear constantly. He's trying to turn them against you. He can't handle that you've moved on. He wants you back under his control. Don't let him manipulate you. I believed him. I wanted to believe him. Because the alternative was admitting I was hurting my children. Then Carter got sick. James's father. The kids adored him. He'd been the one constant through the divorce, always making time for them, taking them fishing, teaching them to bake, showing up to every school event. He was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer in January. By March, he was in hospice care. The kids were devastated. They wanted to visit constantly. James asked if I could be flexible with the custody schedule so they could spend more time with Carter while he was still lucid. I said yes at first. But Derek wasn't happy. You're letting him control you again. The kids need routine, not chaos. They're too young to understand death anyway. You're just going to traumatize them. So I started saying no. No to extra visits. No to phone calls during my parenting time. No to James picking them up early to take them to the hospice center. The kids begged. Lily cried every night. Noah stopped eating. They drew pictures for Grandpa Carter. They wrote him letters. They asked me every single day if they could see him. I told them no. I told them they needed to respect boundaries. I told them Grandpa Carter needed rest. I told them they were being selfish and dramatic. Derek praised me. You're finally standing your ground. You're teaching them the world doesn't stop for them. You're being a strong parent. I was being a monster. James called me, desperate. Carter was declining rapidly. The doctor said he had days, maybe a week. Could the kids please come say goodbye? Could they please bring the letters and drawings they'd made? I looked at Derek. He shook his head. Don't let him manipulate you. I said no. I told James he was using his father's illness to try to control me. I told him the kids were grounded anyway for being disruptive during Derek's work calls. I told him to stop trying to interfere with my parenting time. They're saying goodbye to their grandfather, James said. His voice cracked. This isn't about us. This isn't about custody. This is about letting two children see their dying grandfather. They're grounded, I repeated. Actions have consequences. What actions? James's voice rose. What did they do that's so terrible they can't see their grandfather on his deathbed? They need to learn respect, I said. Derek was nodding, his hand on my shoulder. They're 7 and 9 years old. James was yelling now, something he never did. Their grandfather is dying. What is wrong with you? I hung up on him. The kids found out. Of course they found out. Lily overheard me on the phone. She came running into the kitchen, crying, begging me to please let them see Grandpa Carter. Just once. Just for an hour. Please, Mommy, please. I told her no. I told her she was grounded for eavesdropping. I told her to go to her room. She looked at me like I was a stranger. I hate you, she whispered. Go to your room. Noah heard the commotion. Came running. Started crying too. Please, Mommy. We just want to say goodbye. We won't be loud anymore. We promise. We'll be so good. Please. My 7-year-old son was bargaining with me. Promising to be good to see his dying grandfather. Both of you, rooms. Now. They went. I heard them sobbing through the walls. Derek pulled me close. You did the right thing. They need to learn. Learn what? I don't know anymore. I didn't know then either. But I was so deep in it, so committed to this path, that turning back felt like admitting I'd been wrong all along. Carter died on a Wednesday morning. James called me at work. I didn't answer. He left a voicemail. Dad died at 6:47 this morning. The kids need to know. Call me. I didn't call him back. I waited until I got home. Told the kids at dinner with Derek sitting right there. Your grandfather passed away this morning, I said. Clinical. Cold. Like I was telling them we were out of milk. Lily's face crumpled. Did he get our letters? The letters. The 3 letters I kept in my desk drawer, telling myself I'd mail them eventually, using them as leverage, as punishment, as proof that I was in control. No, I said. Why not? Her voice was small. You were grounded. Lily stared at me. Noah stared at me. The silence was deafening. You kept our letters? Lily's voice was shaking. We asked you every day if you mailed them. You said you did. I'd forgotten I'd lied about that too. I was going to, I said. But you needed to learn that actions have consequences. What actions? Lily screamed. What did we do? We were too loud? We laughed too much? We existed wrong? Don't raise your voice at your mother, Derek interjected. Lily turned on him. You're not my dad. You're nobody. This is your fault. Mommy never acted like this before you. Go to your room, I said. No. Lily was hysterical now. You kept our letters. Grandpa died thinking we didn't care. He died alone and we couldn't even say goodbye because we were grounded for nothing. Room. Now. She ran. Noah followed, sobbing. I heard them on the phone later that night. Calling James. Crying to him. Telling him everything. I should have stopped them. I didn't. Part of me was relieved someone else would deal with their grief. James showed up the next morning. Earlier than his scheduled pickup. Walked right past me into the house. "Get the kids' things," he said. "They're coming with me." "It's my parenting time," I said. "I don't give a fuck about the schedule right now." James's voice was ice. "My father just died. Your children just lost their grandfather. A grandfather they couldn't say goodbye to because you decided a power play with your boyfriend was more important than their grief." "That's not what happened." "That's exactly what happened." He pulled out his phone. Showed me texts. Dozens of them. From his lawyer. "I'm filing for emergency custody. Full custody. I'm documenting every grounding, every restriction, every time you chose Derek over our kids. Lily's nightmares. Noah's bedwetting. The school counselor's concerns. All of it." My blood ran cold. "You can't do that. Watch me." He called up the stairs. "Lily. Noah. Get your stuff. You're staying with me for a while." They came running. Backpacks already packed, like they'd been waiting for this. Like they'd hoped for this. Lily didn't look at me. Noah glanced back once, his face streaked with tears, then kept going. "James, please." He turned at the door. "You kept letters from dying grandfather. You grounded children for grieving. You chose a man you've known 8 months over the kids you've raised for 9 years. I don't know who you are anymore, but you're not the mother they need." He left. Took the kids. Didn't come back. Derek put his arm around me. "They'll get over it. Kids are resilient. You did what you had to do." I believed him. I had to believe him. Because the alternative was too horrifying. The emergency custody hearing was 3 weeks later. I showed up with a lawyer Derek helped me find. James showed up with documentation. So much documentation. Medical records showing Noah's renewed bedwetting and anxiety. School counselor reports about Lily's declining grades and withdrawal from friends. Text messages from James expressing concerns about the groundings, my responses dismissing him. Screenshots of my phone records showing I'd blocked James's father's number so he couldn't call the kids. Testimony from Carter's hospice nurse about how he'd ask for the kids every day, how he'd die confused why they never visited, still waiting for letters that never came. My lawyer tried. Argued I was setting boundaries. Argued the kids needed discipline. Argued James was undermining me. The judge wasn't buying it. "You prevented minor children from saying goodbye to their dying grandfather because they were too loud during your boyfriend's conference calls?" She looked at me over her glasses. "You withheld letters written by grieving children to their grandfather as punishment?" "I was trying to teach them. You taught them their mother values a boyfriend's comfort over their emotional well-being. Temporary custody is awarded to the father pending a full evaluation. Supervised visitation only for the mother until further notice." Supervised visitation. Like I was a danger to my own children. I called James, sobbing, begging him to work with me. He didn't answer. Sent one text, all communication through lawyers. Do not contact me or the kids directly. The supervised visits were hell. Once a week. 2 hours. A social worker watching everything. The kids barely spoke to me. Lily wouldn't look at me. Noah clung to the social worker like she was safety and I was the threat. I tried to apologize. Tried to explain. Tried to tell them I'd made mistakes but I loved them. Lily finally looked up. "Did you mail the letters?" "What?" "Grandpa's letters. Did you ever mail them?" I couldn't lie anymore. "No." "Where are they?" "In my desk. At home." "Can I have them?" "Of course, baby, I'll bring them next time." "Dad already got them. From the house when you were at work. We buried them with Grandpa. 3 weeks late. But we buried them with him." My throat closed. "I'm sorry." "You're not sorry you did it. You're sorry it didn't work out for you." She was 9 years old and she saw right through me. The visits got worse. Noah started having panic attacks when it was time to see me. Would cry and cling to James, begging not to go. The social worker recommended reducing visits to once a month pending therapy. Once a month. I went from full custody to once a month in 6 weeks. Derek was still there. Still supporting me. Still telling me James was manipulating the kids, that they'd come around, that I just needed to stay strong. But cracks were forming. His patience with the situation was wearing thin. "This is taking a lot out of you," he'd say. "Maybe you need to focus on us for a while. Let the kids have space." Translation: Your children are inconvenient. My family started finding out. My mother called, horrified. "You kept letters from a dying man? From your own children? What were you thinking?" I was trying to set boundaries. With children? By denying them their grandfather? By choosing a boyfriend over your babies? It's more complicated than that. No, it isn't. She hung up. Didn't call back for months. My sister was worse. Posted on Facebook. Didn't name me directly, but everyone knew. Some people should never be parents. Choosing a man over your own children is unforgivable. My heart breaks for my niece and nephew. The comments were brutal. Friends from high school weighing in. Coworkers seeing it. Everyone knowing what I'd done. I deleted my Facebook. Didn't stop the talk. Work found out when my boss saw my sister's post. Called me in. Is this about you? I couldn't lie. It's complicated. Are you the one who prevented children from seeing their dying grandfather? It wasn't like that. I think you should take some time off. Unpaid. Figure out your priorities. Unpaid leave turned into subtle pressure to quit. Coworkers avoiding me. Lunch invitations stopping. Whispers in the break room. I resigned after 2 months. Couldn't take the judgment. Money got tight. Child support reversed. I was paying James now. Legal fees piling up. Rent on a house I'd picked for 4 people, now living with just Derek and me. Derek started complaining? About the money? About my depression? About how I wasn't fun anymore? Maybe we should take a break, he said one night. 6 months after Carter died. You need to focus on fixing things with your kids. And I need someone who can be present in the relationship. Someone whose children weren't ruining the vibe. He moved out a week later. Didn't even pretend to be sad about it. Packed his stuff while I was at work. Left a note, I think this is best for both of us. Take care. The man I destroyed my family for couldn't even break up with me in person. I tried calling him. Blocked. Social media. Blocked. Showed up at his new apartment once. He threatened to call the police. 8 months. I'd blown up my entire life for a man who lasted 8 months. The custody evaluation came back. Mother shows poor judgment and inability to prioritize children's emotional needs. Recommended, father receives full physical custody with final decision-making authority. Mother receives supervised therapeutic visitation twice monthly contingent on completing parenting classes and family therapy. Twice monthly. Supervised. Contingent on jumping through hoops. James got everything. The kids. The authority. The moral high ground. Everything I'd taken for granted. I had to move. Couldn't afford the house on unemployment. Ended up in a studio apartment in a bad part of town. 1 room. Shared bathroom down the hall. Nothing like the home my children grew up in. The kids knew. Lily told me during a visit. Dad said you had to move because you spent all your money on lawyers trying to keep us from him. That's not exactly. Is it true? It was true. Yes. Good. She was 9 years old and thought I deserved it. She was right. Therapy didn't help. The therapist assigned to us tried to facilitate conversations. Tried to help me apologize, help them express their feelings, help us rebuild. But how do you rebuild from scorched earth? I'm sorry, I'd say every session. For what? Lily would ask. She always asked. Made me say it. For keeping you from Grandpa Carter. For not mailing your letters. For choosing Derek over you. For all of it. Are you sorry you did it? Or sorry it didn't work out? I never had a good answer. Because honestly? I don't know. I was sorry it exploded. Sorry I lost them. Sorry my life fell apart. But was I sorry I did it? In the moment, I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought I was being strong. I was just being cruel. Noah wouldn't talk in therapy at all. Would sit silently, coloring, occasionally glancing at me like I was a stranger he was forced to be polite to. Once he said, "Can we go now?" 15 minutes in. "We have 45 more minutes, buddy," the therapist said gently. "I don't want to be here." He looked right at me. "I don't want to see her." 7 years old. He didn't want to see his mother. The visits became more sporadic. The kids started refusing. The court said they couldn't force children to see a parent they feared. Feared. My children feared me. Lily aged out emotionally at 10. Told the judge in chambers, James told me later, that she didn't feel safe with me. That I chose a boyfriend who wasn't even around anymore over her and her brother. That she didn't trust me to protect her. Noah just cried when asked. Said he wanted to stay with Dad. My visits dropped to once a month. Then every other month. Then the kids stopped showing up at all. James texted me once, "They don't want to see you. I can't force them. I'm sorry." Sorry. Like I was a distant relative, not their mother. I tried showing up at their school. Security escorted me out. James had filed paperwork. I wasn't allowed on campus. I tried showing up at James's house. He wouldn't answer the door. Called the police when I wouldn't leave. They gave me a warning about harassment. I tried sending letters, gifts, cards for birthdays and holidays. Never got responses. Don't know if the kids even received them. It's been 18 months since Carter died. 14 months since I've seen my children in person. 11 months since I've heard their voices. Lily is 11 now. Noah is 8. I've missed Lily's 5th grade graduation. Noah's first soccer season. Lily's first period, her first heartbreak, her first day of middle school. Noah losing 2 more teeth, learning to ride a bike without training wheels, his school art show where he won an award. I know these things from James's social media. He doesn't block me there. Maybe it's mercy. Maybe it's cruelty. Either way, I watch my children grow up through a screen like a stranger stalking someone else's family. They look happy. Adjusted. Thriving. Better without me. I started drinking. Not heavily. Just enough to sleep. Just enough to not think about the letters I kept, the visits I denied, the choice I made to value a mediocre man's comfort over my children's grief. Got a DUI 3 months ago. Lost my license. Lost the part-time job I'd finally landed. Spent a night in jail. My mom bailed me out. Didn't say much. Just, you have to stop destroying yourself. You already destroyed them. My sister won't speak to me. My friends are gone. My career is gone. My children are gone. I'm 41 years old. I live in a studio apartment with broken heating and roaches. I work delivery apps on a bike because I can't drive. I eat ramen and watch TV shows I used to watch with my kids, crying through episodes they'll never see with me. Sometimes I draft texts to Lily and Noah. Long explanations. Apologies. Promises I can't keep. I never send them. What would I even say? I'm sorry I chose a man who didn't love me over children who did? I'm sorry I used your grief as a weapon? I'm sorry I withheld dying man's last chance to hear from you because I was proving a point to your father? There are no words that fix it. No apology that brings them back. No amount of therapy or sobriety or groveling that undoes what I did. I see kids everywhere. At the grocery store, at the park, on the bus. Always scanning for Lily's dark hair, Noah's gap-toothed smile. I never find them. They're avoiding me without even knowing I'm looking. Last month I saw Lily at the mall. She was with friends, laughing, looking older than I remembered. I followed at a distance. Watched her try on clothes, share fries, take selfies. Normal teenage girl things. Things I should be part of. She saw me. For just a second, our eyes met. I saw recognition. Then fear. Then nothing. She turned away and kept walking. I didn't follow. Just stood there in the food court, crying, while my daughter walked away. Derek contacted me once. 6 months after the breakup. Apologized. Said he felt bad about how things ended. Asked if I wanted to get coffee. I said no. He'd already taken enough. People ask sometimes why I did it. Co-workers at the delivery app company during training. Therapists over the years. My AA sponsor. I don't have a good answer. I thought I was being strong. I thought I was setting boundaries. I thought I was refusing to be controlled. I thought I was choosing myself after years of putting everyone else first. I wasn't choosing myself. I was choosing the approval of a man who didn't value me over the love of children who did. I was choosing ego over empathy. I was choosing being right over being good. And I told myself it was growth. There's a box under my bed. The 3 letters my kids wrote to Carter. James gave them back after the funeral. Returned them like evidence of my cruelty. I read them sometimes. When I want to hurt. When I need to remember. Lily's has perfect handwriting. Dear Grandpa Carter, I miss you so much. Mom says you need rest, but I hope you get better. I drew you a picture of us fishing. Remember when you taught me to cast? I love you more than all the stars. Love, Lily. Noah's his messy crayon. Grandpa, I love you. Get better. Love, Noah. With a drawing of them holding hands. Carter never saw them. Never knew they tried. Died thinking his grandchildren had forgotten him. Died waiting for letters that sat in my desk drawer because I was teaching everyone a lesson. The only lesson anyone learned was what kind of mother I am. I'll never forgive myself. I don't deserve to. My children will never forgive me either. They shouldn't. Some things you don't come back from. Some mistakes aren't mistakes at all. Their choices. And I chose wrong. Over and over and over. You don't get do-overs when the people you broke are your own children. You just get to live with what you've done, watching their lives from a distance, knowing you earned every single second of the emptiness.